Here we are playing the issues, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in the state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Our family be the ones who gotta delegate. Keep that money in the power, never be fake. Stick the codes out the three. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same employment at your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs that be on the CNN. BBTV, talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Break it down here, I'm like the Boyce Watkins.
Hey, what's happening, Black people? What's going on? I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. And I want to say good morning, happy Saturday. It's so good to be back in the States. As you guys know, I was out out of the country this week. I went down to Colombia and got a chance to really learn a lot about Black Colombians and all the Black people that are down in Brazil. I don't know. Let me ask you guys, give me a yes or no on this question. First of all, let's do a mic check. You give me a yes or no if you can hear me and you can see me clearly. Yes or no, can you hear me and can you see me clearly? Let me know if you can hear me and see me. That way I know that I'm not talking to myself. I just want to double check. Can you hear me and see me? What's up, Milton? Hey, what's going on, B. Paulie? Hey, what's going on, Keith? Hello, Charla and Martin and everybody else. I see. Okay, I see. Yes, thank you, Jacqueline, D. Smooth, Lionheart. All right, Janet Henry, Kevin Gordon. Good to see you, Joshua. Hello, and I'm also simulcasting on the Black Financial Channel. If you're interested in financial topics and you love to hear what's going on with daily financial news from a Black perspective, then please go sign up at theblackfinancialchannel.com. THE, that's theblackfinancialchannel.com. Now, here today, I actually woke up today. I woke up today wanting to talk about something that had to do with relationships. Now, some might say, well, what the hell? But Doc, why are you talking about relationships, man? What you got to do? Why would you be bringing that up? You're supposed to be talking about finance. You're supposed to be talking about money. Well, actually, let me just break this down for you. When I was working on my PhD in finance, and I learned every financial theory that's out there, I learned and studied all the financial models and did all the equations and did tons and tons of research in all these academic journals. One of the things I found out that was kind of overlooked by a lot of people, one of the things that I noticed that we don't talk about is the way your relationships impact your financial situation. Now, some of y'all might already hear me though. Some of y'all might know what I'm talking about. Some of you may not know. So let me school you. Let me break it down for you real quick. I'm gonna school you in love as a Black man who loves you and cares about you. If you don't manage your relationships, you will be broke. If you do not manage your relationships properly, your relationships will leave you broker than a $3 bill. Seriously, your relationships will destroy you and put you behind the 8 ball financially if you do not know how to manage them properly. Now, on the flip side of that, if you know how to manage your relationships properly, if you factor relationship building into your portfolio, into your wealth acquisition game plan, then what you'll find is that a lot of the things that are hard to do when you don't have the proper relationships actually become very easy to get done when you do have the proper relationships. So that's why I have guys like Dr. George C. Frazier, who's right up there with Dr. Claude Anderson in terms of the OGs that I respect, the elders that are here to teach us. I have him on because Dr. George C. Frazier is the #1 networking and relationship building guru in the United States and arguably in the world. Dr. George C. Frazier, his book on I think what was it? Success Runs in Our Race is actually required reading in every HBCU in America. And the only thing HBCUs are getting wrong is that they don't include powernomics and the things that Black people learn. Powernomics, as you saw when Dr. Claude Anderson went on the Breakfast Club this week and tore it up, had over 1 million views. You know, Dr. Claude Anderson is a guy that Black people need to hear from. And Black people responded, and that's why they were so excited to have him on the show. So anyway, let me break this down. Let me talk to you about it. I like to use real life examples of things that allow us to learn how to make proper investments in our relationship portfolio so that we can actually put ourselves in a good economic position. So first things first, some of you know about Angela Rye or Common. Give me a yes or no if you've heard of either Angela Rye or the rapper Common. A yes or no, one or the other. You don't have to know about both. If you know about Common and you don't know about Angela Rye, that's okay. We can still have the conversation without you knowing about Angela Rye. I'm not a big fan of Angela Rye as a person, to be honest with you, but I think this is a good example. I met Angela in person, and we didn't have a good experience. We did not hit it off very, very well. We were actually in line to talk to her. I was speaking out in, was it Kansas City or was it? No, it wasn't Kansas City. It was a city out west. I can't remember which one. Why is it not in my brain? Somewhere in Missouri. No, was it Missouri? I gotta ask my manager. I can't remember. Anyway, I was speaking out at a city, Oklahoma City. That's it. No disrespect to Oklahoma City. Shout out to Oklahoma City. I was speaking to Oklahoma City, and I was going to do a keynote out there. And Angela Rye had been on a panel, and we saw Angela Rye, and I went up to her because I was going to ask her to come to the All Black National Convention, which you guys know we have in September. And I remember that her energy was so bad from our perspective, from what we were seeing, from what my manager was seeing. Her energy came off so bad that we literally just decided, we're not going to ask her, we're not going to invite her, and I wasn't impressed, and so. And since that time, it's only been triple confirmed. I mean, I saw her kind of attack Farrakhan in a weird way. I saw her, just kind of do some things that I thought were just disrespectful and not cool. And so I'm not a big fan of Angela Rye, but I think this is an interesting topic to discuss nonetheless, because these two are people that are out there and it's worth talking about. Now, um, here's the thing. So here's the story basically that got my attention, and I've been fascinated with the way relationships and money link together ever since I wrote my book Financial Lovemaking. I wrote that book about 2006, 2007, and I was utterly mesmerized by all the different ways that people's relationship choices play out in their financial situation. Like, for example, how many of you have ever heard that saying that says, if you have five broke friends, then you're gonna be the sixth? Has anybody ever heard that? Give me a yes or no if you heard that. When was I in Kansas City, Oklahoma City? Man, I don't even know, Emmett. I can't even remember when it was. It was probably about a year and a half ago. Angela Rye was trying to terrorize me ever since. We went out to Birmingham, and she was giving people shit about having me in Birmingham. And I was supposed to be on a panel with Common at UCLA and the UCLA Black Alumni Association. It had me fly all the way from Guyana. I flew all the way across the world, only to find out that once I got on the ground, that they canceled me and my appearance on the stage with Common and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And I saw Angela Rye's energy in there somewhere, like, if you bring Boyce on with Common, then I'm not gonna let Common go on stage, right? Like just that bitchy energy, right? Just as for the record, ladies, I will tell you this: men don't want to marry bitches. Like, just seriously. I mean, I'm not saying that you can't have a range of emotions. I'm not saying that you can't have a bad day. I'm not saying that you can't do whatever the hell you want to do. But I'm just telling you like this: when he started dating her, I said, wait, Common seems like a nice guy. Angela Rye doesn't seem like a nice guy, right? Because she is a guy. She got that guy-like energy, right? Angela Rye doesn't seem very nice, but Common seems pretty cool. Why would he date her, right? And then I was like, oh, but he's not going to marry her. If I'd ever heard an announcement that they were getting married, I'd be predicting the divorce as soon as the announcement came out, because men just don't like to marry bitches. This is just me being real with y'all, me keeping it 100. Just like, think about it like this. A good corollary, a good way to look at it, and this is me putting on my Black father hat on for the young ladies that don't have fathers that will tell them the honest truth. Um, you know, in general, men don't want to marry bitches for the same reasons that women don't want to be with weak men. Like, ladies, give me a yes or no. If your man was a punk, would that turn you off? Like, if somebody was trying to run up on you and your man didn't stand up for you, would that turn you off a little bit? Give me a yes or no. Would that bother you if when the situation came up and it was time for your man to be a man and he was like a little bitch, he was kind of like a bitch, right? Would that bother you? Give me a yes or no. Right. So, because there's real women in the chat, like the real women are the ones that they hang out here. Like the crazy ones, they don't like me too much after the whole thing with Lizzo and all that. But I'm sorry, I'm not going to celebrate hoism or the portrayal of the black woman as a mammy Jezebel to white people. I just don't celebrate that. That's not what we do on this platform. So I might as well just be honest with you, so you don't get all excited about me, because that's what happens. People meet me, they see me, they get all excited about what I'm teaching and what we're doing here, and then I say something that offends them, and then they leave. So that's why I eliminate you early. I don't want people here who don't want truth, who don't want an honest dialogue. So the same way women don't want a weak ass man, Men don't want a bitchy ass woman. A man is not gonna bring a bitch home to his mother. Fellas, in here, can you co-sign on this for me and let me know if you saw a woman just acting like a bitch? And I'm gonna tell you, but I'm not gonna say Angela Rye's a bitch, but from my perspective, from what I saw a bitch from my angle. The angle I was at when I heard people talking in the back, I heard bitch, 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 bitch. Like she was not a friendly person. She did not come off as somebody that was likable, lovable, or that you would open your heart to. So, fellas, can you please just give me a yes in the chat so women will know that I'm not the only one out here saying this shit. Like, cause somebody need to tell y'all the truth, man. Seriously, some of the poor ladies and the men too, we're getting bad advice. We're getting bad advice. And so the best way for women to learn about men is to ask men. Don't go read an Essence magazine article that was written by some woman who hates men to tell you what men should be doing and what's wrong with men and all that. No, no, no. Go talk to men and get them to be honest. Same thing with the men. If you want to understand what ladies want, go talk to women. Best thing I ever did. I'm gonna tell you all the truth. Give you real game right now. Best thing I ever did was I read a book by actually a white lady. And many years ago, her name was Dr. Barbara DeAngelis, and the book was called "What Women Want Men to Know." And I read the entire book because I wanted to understand women, because women did not, honestly, men and women are different. You know, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. You probably heard that. Like when I read this book, it really, really shaped my thinking, and I was utterly convinced that you will never understand women if you think like a man, and you will never understand men if you think like a woman. So if in order to understand the other side, you must put yourself in their shoes and understand them. That's the truth. Now, anyway, before I move forward, please hit the thumbs up button, hit the thumbs up button, share, subscribe button. And also, in case you guys don't know, we actually do have a film series. Boyce Watkins Films actually has a franchise called The Black Love Blueprint, which is all about relationship building in the Black community, how we can love each other and stay together, and also build empires, build economic empires with each other. So if you're interested in taking a look at that, it's not just a film, but it's a whole program. We have a whole program, a whole curriculum on this in the Black Business School. So if you want to check it out and check out the trailer for the film, go to theblackloveblueprint.com. That's theblackloveblueprint.com. I talk to you guys all the time about Black people taking over media, taking over education. Well, I'm not going to just talk about it. We're actually doing that. We're getting these things done. So anyway, so let's keep going. Let me lay out another thought that I had when I saw the thing with Angela Ryan Common. So Common basically, in so many words, when it came to the breakup, like they got together, they broke up, then they got together again for like a month, then they broke up again. And I think Common said, she's a nice lady, but it just didn't work out because we didn't see things the same. And Angela Rye went into more detail and talked about kids in particular, that they were not sure about whether or not they want to have kids. Now, Eric says I'm buffering. Give me a yes or no if you're able to hear me on the Black Financial Channel or anywhere. If you guys are able to hear me clearly, just give me a yes or no. If you can't hear me, then I may have to make a change. So anyway, so Angela Rye says, well, yeah, something about the kids, and he, I wanted to have kids, and he didn't, and he wasn't sure. And when somebody says they're not sure, that usually means no, and da 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 da. Okay, fine. Now, first of all, I do recommend, if you are in the public eye and your relationship ends, I don't know how much you should talk about in public, particularly when you talk about the other person. I don't know if either one of them made the right decision with that. Because I'll tell you what, God forbid, if it didn't work out with me and Alicia, y'all wouldn't know shit. Y'all wouldn't know shit. All y'all would know is weddings canceled, or maybe somebody, you got the haters always watching, the haters always paying close attention to see what you're going to do next. So they might go dig up some divorce papers or something and talk about it. But you're not going to hear me go on here and ever bash that Black woman that's in my house. You will never hear me publicly say anything about her other than positive things. You might hear me say, yeah, sometimes in relationships it can be tough. Sometimes you can get into an argument, but you're not going to hear me really say much about the relationship, because people twist that into what they want it to be. In fact, there are people who still believe that that I'm marrying a white woman because she happens to be a light-skinned Black woman, but she grew up in the hood. She got all the curves that a Black woman is blessed with, and she has all the Black experience you can imagine. And so I don't know where they got that rumor from, but again, that's what the haters do. That's how far they go into the ridiculousness. But I'm gonna tell you this: here is a warning sign. Here's a warning sign that you can pick up from this particular example. Common's 47 years old, if I'm not mistaken. He ain't no 25-year-old kid. He ain't Justin Bieber. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you a little secret, and I believe this from the core of my heart. If somebody has been single and never married and they are over the age of 35, there is always a reason why. If somebody is single over the age of 35, there is always a reason that they're single. Now, the reasons can vary. You got the naive things like, I was working hard. I was working so hard in medical school that I just never got time to settle down. That could be a reason. Or I never really wanted to be married because I just didn't feel like marriage was for me. That could be a reason, right? Right. And actually, let me be more specific. If somebody's very attractive, that might be a good. So 'cause sometimes they might just be undesirable. Right? I'm not saying that if you're not married by 35 that you're undesirable. That's not true at all. That's not true at all. Because actually, studies show that for Black women, it's a little bit tougher. I will say that. The Economist wrote a great article about the relationship ecosystem in the African American community and how it was disrupted and thrown off balance by the mass incarceration epidemic started by Bill Clinton and going even before that, going back to the war on drugs with Richard Nixon. With Bill Clinton and his homeboys, the Democratic Party, y'all love so much, the one that Angela Rye be shouting and screaming hallelujah for, they actually threw off the Black relationship ecosystem by incarcerating so many Black men that the number of marriage eligible Black men plummeted, which then created an imbalance in the community. This article, go look it up. It's in The Economist. These are some British economics experts. Remember, I told you money and relationships are deeply connected. These were economists who literally, think about this. Why would some British economists be analyzing Black relationships, right? They did it because they saw a dynamic that occurred as a result of bad policy pushed forward by your buddies in the Democratic Party, right? When they started doing that three strikes you out shit, or when they refused to actually go back and release these men, that they took away a lot of your husbands. So I will say that the rules do vary between men and women, but I will tell you. So I will say this is more specifically to men. If a man is over the age of 35 and he ain't never been married, there's usually a reason. It doesn't mean it's a bad reason. Like I said, it could be, you know, he was busy. He was in medical school. He couldn't get married, or he was working on his business, and he was so busy as an entrepreneur that he didn't feel a relationship could fit into his schedule. It could be that he was in a long-term relationship with a woman that he planned to marry and it just didn't work out. It could be more sinister though. It could be that, the reason he don't want a wife is because he really want a husband, right? Seriously, like let's keep it 100. Like you go to Atlanta, especially in places like, and it's not just Atlanta though. Like there's a lot of men who just ain't coming out the closet and they got a little secret life and they ain't trying to really be like in a space where a woman is watching their every move 24 hours a day. Marriage is a big commitment. You got a person right there in the bed next to you every day who's watching everything you do, asking, why didn't you come home last night? Why is Billy always coming to the house and spending the night? Why you got so-and-so was sleeping in the master bedroom for 6 months straight? Like, seriously, I'm not really trying to hate on it. I'm just telling y'all the truth, right? And then you can go, and then there's deeper things, right? Or there's other things, right? Maybe they're just not built for marriage. Maybe marriage is just like, it's hard work. It's, I don't really want, marriage for some people, it's something that, it's just something that doesn't appeal to them, right? I know some people want to believe that love is supposed to be idealistic and all that, and it's just not, right? So if you wonder why we're talking about love and relationships, we're talking about it because relationships and money. If you don't understand the link between relationships and wealth, then you don't understand wealth at all. Because most wealth around the world is built through relationships. Nomalanga Mushali Moses, who runs our South African office in the Black Business School. We have an office in South Africa, by the way, and we're gonna be fully functional in about a month and a half or so. So if you live in South Africa, in Johannesburg in particular, we will have a Black Business School office in Johannesburg. But anyway, with that said, one of the things Nomalanga talks about is she says, I don't understand why African Americans don't realize that, as who says this, as Joe Ron is saying, marriage is a business. Family is a business. Most wealth comes from family. Anybody ever heard of, I don't know, the Rothschilds? Yeah, sure, they're a business, but they're a family, right? Anybody heard of the Rockefellers? That's a family, which is also a business. You follow me? Anybody, I don't know, Mr. Sean Carter, Jay-Z and Beyonce. They're a family, but they're a business. So here's the deal. the reason we did our, when we did the film, The Black Love Blueprint, the reason I really wanted to strongly develop a film franchise, we're actually shooting films in LA and Atlanta. We got a lot of projects going on. I'll tell you guys more about it later. As I said, Black folks don't understand that the reason your wealth does not grow is because every generation you're starting over because you can't keep your relationships together, or you're picking the wrong relationships, or you're picking a woman because she got a big booty, or you're picking a man because he got swag and not thinking about what kind of economic swag he has, what kind of empire building swag he has, right? So ultimately, it's all connected. And so I will just tell you, ladies, when you have ladies that are down to business that are like, look, don't waste my time. My clock is ticking. I'm 32 years old. I want to have a baby. Guys get mad about that. Guys like, oh, why don't you chill? Why don't you just no, don't let him waste your time, because there's an imbalance. There's a real life disproportion there that favors men, where men can fuck around till they 70 and then start having kids when they're 70 years old. When I was in Ghana, I met a guy that had done that. He had like 20 kids after he was 60 years old. Women can't do the same thing in that way. Now, they won't talk about it, but it's true. Now, I know Cameron Diaz just had a baby at 47 years old, but most doctors don't recommend trying to do that. Okay. So ultimately, when ladies are serious about not wasting their time, there's a logical reason for that. And so ultimately, so I will just tell you this is going to save you a lot of time. If you meet a man over the age of 35 who's never been married, there's usually a reason why. It doesn't mean it's a bad reason, though. It doesn't mean he's a bad person. It just means you got to figure out what the reason is. And once you figure out what the reason is, then you got to figure out if you have reason to believe that you're working around that. So, for example, I'll use myself as an example. Here we go. I didn't get married. I'm getting married in July 11th, 2020 in Chicago, Southside Chicago. Everybody's invited. I'm gonna put up a link. Y'all can RSVP. You just got to RSVP. And here's the deal. You would have good reason to ask me, like, well, Boyce, you're 48 years old. Why are you getting married at 48 and not 28? Well, that's because when I was 28, I was working on my PhD. So I was studying 10 hours a day. No joke, 8 to 10 hours a day I was studying. I didn't want the distraction of a wife and kids at that time. Then years later, when I was leaving Syracuse University, I was starting my business. I did get close to getting married. I got engaged to a wonderful woman that I'll never speak ill about, who I actually proposed to her on the Wendy Williams show. I never talked about it, but it did happen back in 2007. And it just didn't work out for reasons that I won't talk about. And, but then even then, I still, felt like, well, maybe marriage is for me, maybe not. But I said, maybe I want to get married in my 40s. I don't want to get married in my 30s. And here's the deal. And this is also advice for the men as well, for everybody. Don't let anybody pressure you into anything. Like, you live your fucking life. Like, seriously, live your damn life. You're going to have people in your ear all the time telling you to change this and change that. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. There are no rules in terms of how you choose to live your life. So I made a conscious choice to say, when I get married, it's going to be a Black woman. That was one fact. One thing I said, if I ever get married, which I will at some point, I'm going to marry a Black woman. Like, I don't believe that stuff about like, oh, well, you can't control who you fall in love with. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I will never be in love with Becky. I won't allow it to happen. It was not going to occur. Right. But then the second thing was, I felt that, my life was good. And I said, I'm not going to get married just to get married. I'm going to get married to somebody who I feel is going to make my life better. I married Alicia, or agreed to marry Alicia, or asked for her hand in marriage. How about that? Because I felt that me married to her would make my life better. So make your plan and be, real with yourself, but also be real in terms of what you're actually seeing. I see a lot of women that end up losing valuable time because there are men that aren't necessarily trying to harm you. They're not trying to use you up all the time. Some men are bad, right? We know this. There are bad men out there. But a lot of times it's because, you're 32, he's 35. He's got more time than you, because he can flip around at 45, 50 years old and get married. And it might be a little bit tougher for you because the ecosystem is different for men than it is for women, right? This is the landscape. This is the game you're playing. I'm not here to lie to you. I'm not here to be politically correct. I'm here to be correct. I'm here to be correct, not politically correct. I don't care about being politically correct. All right. So anyway, do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up button, share and subscribe button. Also, I want to thank the sponsor of this podcast, illuminatelifecosmetics.com. That's illuminatelifecosmetics.com. illuminatelifecosmetics.com. I'm gonna say it one more time, illuminatelifecosmetics.com. They sell organic cosmetics that don't mess up your skin. So I hope you guys will go check out illuminatelifecosmetics.com and support that Black-owned business and do a cash mob on their business. If you want to be a sponsor on this podcast, just send an email to manager@boycewatkins.com. That's manager@boycewatkins.com, and she can take care of you. And you can sponsor a podcast, and I'll mention your URL and send some people to your platform. Okay, so moving on. Here's another question about the common Angela Rye relationship. Again, just a little side note. A lot of these celebrity relationships are not real. A lot of these celebrity relationships are for show. A lot of these celebrity relationships are designed for publicity because celebrities are constantly competing for attention. A lot of these celebrity relationships are really strictly business, right? And some of these celebrity relationships are beards, like where the woman is just like, okay, I'll be your woman, I'll pretend to be your woman, so no one will figure out that really you don't want a woman at all, right? And that is what it is, because the Black community, has, for what I think are good reasons, we have a resistance to the mass promotion of specific lifestyles. We just have that. That's just who we are. We're African in our blood. We're not European. We're not trying to let anybody tell us what to think and how to be. And so I would say that in a relationship like that, the other thing too is that a lot of Black folks, when we celebrity watch, we're paying attention and internalizing relationships that sometimes may not even be real relationships at all. So you just got to kind of know that too. And another point to really keep in mind is that given that marriage is a business, I would encourage you, number one, two things. One, I tell you that every Black family should have a family business. That's very important. Every Black family should have a family business. Dr. Boyce, Dr. B, what's Dr. B's Cash App URL? I don't even know, man. I'm sorry, Todd. I wish I knew it because I'd love to have some free money, but sorry, brother. I don't even know, man. But feel free to put something in the super chat if you want. And in fact, if you put something in the super chat and you put in the URL of your business, I'll shout out your business like right now here today. And about 1 million people a week watch, our different platforms. So, it'll be worth it, like as an investment. So just feel free to try that. All right. And so little things like prenups should not be taboo. I think you should consider prenups just so you can have clarity on where the assets are going to go. I think thinking about the person that you're building with and what they do in terms of fitting in with whatever you're trying to accomplish is very important. I think also, in general, I encourage the families in the Black Business School to really think of yourself as, as the beginnings of what the Rockefellers are going to be, or the Ford family. There are lots of families that are very wealthy now that weren't wealthy a generation ago. And so you may not come from a wealthy family, but a wealthy family should come from you, right? You may not come from a wealthy family, but a wealthy family should come from you. And that starts with your mindset, right? So the other thing I want to read to you guys real quick is, let me pull this up. I pulled up an article. This is more so for the ladies, but it's also for men as well. It's 7 ways to know that your partner really wants to have a baby with you. Okay, so 7 signs to know if your partner really wants to have a baby with you. Let's see here. Number 1, if they started to volunteer to babysit a lot, that's one sign that they want to have kids. 2, they've started noticing kids everywhere. If they're just looking around and they just see other people's kids and they just say, oh, there's a baby, there's a baby. Oh, I love babies. That usually means they want to have a baby with you. 3, in fact, it's funny because I think about this and I think about a woman that I dated who didn't want to have kids with me. And I didn't care because I didn't want to have kids with her either. But I remember that, that like when kids came up, she was very averse to children, right? Whereas who knows, maybe with a different man, she would have been very excited about kids. So a lot of times that fertile energy, it's almost like starting a business. Really, starting a business with somebody is a little bit like having a child with them in a different way. It's like an economic baby that you're going to nurture and raise together and take care of it together, feed it together, stuff like that. And and if somebody doesn't want to rock with you like that, like for example, I love to start businesses, but if I feel like you're going to be a bad business partner, then I'm not going to talk about starting a business with you. I'm not going to talk about, oh, that would be a great business idea to go into, because I'm not going to want to talk to you about it if I don't think you're going to be a good business partner. But if you are a person that can bring something to the table, or I think you can execute, or there's a connection there, then I might talk about business a little differently than I would if I'm not interested in moving forward, right? Same thing with sex, right? You think about it, when you want to sleep with somebody, you start getting a little sexy, right? But when you don't, you keep it strictly business, right? So that's kind of what it is when it comes to having babies, starting businesses, or even sleeping with somebody. Three, they become very excited for friends with baby news. So when their friends have babies, they get really excited. Four, they started including more people with kids in your friend circle. So they're starting to have sort of subconsciously bring children around. Interesting. That's very interesting. Five, they started having tons of fun playing with their friends' kids. So they really like playing with the kids, hanging out with the kids. So they're seeing themselves in a family role. Like, especially with men, I think with men, I don't believe there's any such thing as a good man or a bad man. Like, we like to say, oh, he's a good man, oh, he's a bad man. But I will say that actually, I think that every man has the capacity to be good. Every man has the capacity to be bad. It kind of depends on the situation. It kind of depends on where his head is at, right, in that moment. Six, they started saying what a good mom you'll be someday. Okay, so if he's talking to you about children or having children with you or how great you'll be when you have kids, then that says that he's probably thinking about being the guy that actually fertilizes you to have children with you. And seven, they started saying things like, when we have kids, like it's no big deal. When they start saying, okay, well, that's a dead giveaway. So there you go. So a lot of times, I think with love and relationships, there's situations where we want to make it into something that it's not, or we want to think about, imagine it as what we want it to be, as opposed to seeing it for what it really is. I am absolutely, completely, totally convinced that love is very, very business like, in the sense that it's heavily linked to your economic situation. You marry the wrong woman, you will be broke. You pick the wrong man, he will jack up your finances. He'll jack up everything you're trying to do. I once counseled, when I wrote the book Financial Lovemaking, I remember I counseled a couple that had a problem like that, where the husband had these dreams of being a rap star or a rap, something big in the hip hop music industry. And his wife, who had a regular job, I don't know if she was a bus driver or what, but she'd spent 5 years paying off the family credit card. And she'd spent all these years paying off the family credit card from $10,000 down to zero. And so the credit card had a full capacity, right? It was down to zero balance, $10,000 capacity. And without her permission, he took the credit card and maxed it out so that he could start some sort of hip hop business, and the business failed. And at that point, it sounded like their marriage could be over. I mean, there's a lot of tears like in that conversation. And so if you don't think that your financial situation links to how you view relationships, then you probably will need to learn a little bit more about economics. In fact, I believe relationship building is one of the most important parts of everything I do in terms of business. The relationship you build with other business people, relationship you build with your interpersonal interactions with people, relationship you build with your potential customers, all that. Everything's about relationships. So that's why we made the film The Black Love Blueprint. And actually, if you want to check out the trailer and check out our program and do a 30-day free trial in our Love and Money program, feel free to go to theblackloveblueprint.com. That's theblackloveblueprint.com. Feel free to check that out. All right, so Johnny Cali Blaze, thank you for your donation. He says, Johnny Cali Gaming Lounge in Detroit, coming soon 2020. All right, so the Johnny Cali Gaming Lounge in Detroit. Thank you for your work, sacrifice, and love for Black people. Love you too, brother. And the financial situation we are in. One love, Blaze for the nation. I like that. It's very, very cool. Very cool. All right, do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe button. Does anybody have any quick questions before we bounce on out of here? And also, just so you know, if you want to teach your kids about wealth, things like that, we have a great Black business school for children at blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. That's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. Use the code word podcast and you can get 30% off. So use the word podcast when you sign up. Go to blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. So Bella Sapphire Skincare Line, thank you for your donation. So the Bella Sapphire Skincare Line, thanks, Dr. Boyce, for this platform. Well, thank you for supporting the platform. I appreciate you, Sharon Wright. So that's Bella Sapphire Skincare Line. So go check out Bella Sapphire Skincare Line. All right, so let me look here. Let's see here. What do you think about prenups? I think if you have something to lose, I think prenups are definitely a good idea. But even if you have nothing to lose, prenups are good to create clarity. Here's the thing. If you get a divorce, you don't want it to be a messy divorce, right? Divorces happen every day. They happen everywhere. They happen all the time. I have varying theories on why the divorce rate has grown. We'll talk about that later. But divorces happen all the time, and you are better off having a prenup so that there's clarity on how the parting of ways is going to occur. Because if you don't have clarity, then emotions will get in the way and it's going to cause you to fight. And I can just tell you this, one rule of business is that the more you're fighting, the less you're actually building, right? You can't build and destroy at the same time. It's very difficult. So think about it when there's war. Whenever there's war, like look at World War II. Anybody ever seen old video footage of World War II and how all the buildings are torn down and the children can't go to school, nobody's making any money, the whole city's in rubble. Well, that's kind of like what happens in life when you spend your time fighting with your spouse. You can't build anything because you're destroying each other, right? All that energy that could be spent building, right? Instead of 4 plus 4 equaling 8, you've got 4 minus 4 equals 0, or maybe 4 minus 6 equals -2, right? So ultimately, there are a lot of people out here who can't build anything economically because they're spending all their time rebuilding after being torn apart in a bad relationship. Give me a yes or no if you've ever seen this. Have you ever seen somebody who was on their way to the top, kicking ass, taking names, building wealth, doing really well, and then hit a bad relationship and then spent years of their life recovering? Give me a yes or no if you've ever seen anybody go through that, or if you've gone through that yourself. Yes or no? This is that. I want you to answer this for the young people in the room so they'll understand how to maintain a clean life and how important that is for building for the future. All right. So Angelique, she says legalshield.com/hub/Angelique. ANGLETE. ANGLETE. So she's with Legal Shield, legalshield.com/hub/Angelique. All right. So thank you, Angelique, for your donation. I appreciate that. Anybody else who wants to be part of this platform, feel free to go to intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. This is a platform only for intelligent Black people. Later on, at some point today or tomorrow, I'm going to have my friend Asha Castleberry on, who is a national security expert, who's a former, who's a veteran as well, and a high-ranking official in the military, who's going to come in and talk about all this stuff that's going on with the with Iran and everything else. So we're going to break that down in an intelligent way. Let's see here. Should there be an age limit on starting a business? No. We have 5-year-olds in our Black Millionaires of Tomorrow program who have businesses, right? There's no age for knowing how to buy low, sell high, learning how to get a product at one price and sell it for another. Does anybody know that the highest paid YouTubers every year are typically like 7-year-old kids who made like $25 million? Did y'all know that? Yeah, I don't know if y'all know that, but that's true. Let's see here. So yeah, everybody should start a business anywhere. Are you going to start bringing up Liz on your podcast? Absolutely not. As long as she's out here doing the minstrel show, she probably will come up at some point. Nothing is off limits on this podcast, particularly if it's offensive to the community and offensive to the Black people that I love. If you're offended by Lizzo, say yes. If you're offended by the Mammy Jezebel minstrel show, please say yes. If you love her and you think it's great and you love seeing an obese Black woman twerking while she's playing the flute and talking about how much she loves white men and all this other stuff, then that's fine. But this is probably not the place for you, right? It's okay. I'm sure there's plenty of white feminist Lizzo podcasts out here you can go enjoy, but this is not the one. This is not the one, motherfucker. So seriously, if you are into that shit, this ain't the place for you, because I'm only going to piss you off. You're only going to get offended. So just keep that in mind. That's where I stand. I draw that line real clear in the sand because I need you to know exactly who I am so that we don't get confused and you don't get disappointed and then have to come tell me that you love me until you realize that that I'm a Black man and I'm never going to change, and then I hurt your feelings. So just go ahead and bounce out. It's okay. It's okay. All right, let's see here. Why are you not a millionaire? Actually, I'm a millionaire, but I just don't talk much about it. But yes, I am technically a millionaire. Millionaire status means that your assets minus your liabilities is over $1 million. I'm worth several $1 million, but I don't brag about it because I don't believe it's something that allows me to add that much value to what you're doing. But it does matter in the sense that, one, I have a PhD in finance. I was the only African American on earth to get a PhD in finance during the year 2002. That is true. You can go look it up. The Ohio State University. My dissertation is out there, dissertation chair, all that can be looked up. Number two, I have made money, right? So I do know something about making money. And I also invest the vast majority of that money right back into the Black community, which is actually something that I will talk about just slightly, because I think it's very important that you hold your public figures accountable to see, like, okay, you're making this money. What are you doing with the money? Well, that's why I come to you guys and show you that we're building a Black film division that is actually making Black movies that are going to empower the community, like Resurrecting Black Wall Street, The Black Love Blueprint, Democracy, A Black American Horror Story, Raising a Black Scholar, etc. We've gone to over 100 cities with no corporate sponsorship. Bank of America, none of those people are coming along paying our bills. We're doing it ourselves. We've also, I've gone around the world to Ghana and other places basically pushing Black economic empowerment, right? And there's many other things we've done. We've supported independent Black schools. We're actually in the process, we're almost done building the Boyce and Alicia Watkins Foundation, which our number one goal is to financially support independent Black schools. We're not going to pay for no college scholarship so you can go give $250,000 to a big white university. We don't do that. We're not going to go try to make the public schools better that are being run by white people. We don't do that. We're here to support one thing. That is one of our fundamental core values, which is that we believe Black people should educate our own damn children. Why? Well, because white people are fucking up your kids. White people are teaching your children how to be white, and that's why so many adults in the Black community are worthless to the cause of Black liberation. The reason that the Black community can't move forward is because we got too many Black people out here trying to be white, and it ain't their fault because they were brainwashed from birth. Because the first thing you did when that baby was born was you handed them over to Massa and said, please, Massa, educate my baby. Massa said, I'll be glad to educate your baby, because what you think is an education is actually an indoctrination. You think your child is better, but we're going to send your child back as a little white boy who is literally going to spend more time learning about slave masters like George Washington than they will spend learning about liberators like Marcus Garvey. Seriously, that's sick. We are a mentally sick people. And one of our tiny contributions through the Boyce and Alicia Watkins Foundation is to funnel money to independent Black schools so we can have our own stuff. If they can build their own, then we can build our own too. And I mention this because I really would love your help on this as well. One of the things we're going to do is this. Look, if you want to come to our wedding, the Black Royal Wedding is going to be July 11th in Chicago, Southside Chicago. Everybody's invited. I'll put an RSVP up in about 2 weeks. I'm talking to the wedding planner today. Second of all, do not give me a gift. Do not give us a gift. We do not want gifts. We appreciate, people been giving us all kinds. We go places, man. People like giving me t-shirts and shea butter and blessings and money and everything. I don't want any gifts for the wedding. We got enough. We're good. We don't need we don't need more toast. We don't need another toaster or coffee maker. But I love you for that. What we would love for you guys to do is if you could help us raise money for this foundation so we can build an independent Black school system, man, that would mean everything to me. That would mean the world to me. I want our kids to be educated by Black people who love them. I'm connected to this because I don't know if any of y'all remember going to school where all you got these damn white teachers who don't love you, don't give a shit about you, who are quicker to arrest you than they are to educate you. All right, does anybody remember that? Did anybody go through that? Those people almost stole my future. The same way our ancestors got kidnapped from Africa and had their future stolen so they could take them across the sea, they almost stole my future by basically putting me in detention so much that I thought I was nothing but a criminal in training. I thought I was stupid because they told me that I wasn't smart, right? And I don't want that to happen to our kids, and that is one of our passions. And we got a million other things going on, and I love laying it out there. So I love it when anybody, right? Because you got Black folks out there that are so brainwashed that if they see a Black person that looks like they're doing something positive, they want to find a way to turn it into a negative. But I'm gonna tell you a secret. I love it when they come and they ask me about that, because it gives me an opportunity to say, oh, we're doing this and 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 we're doing that. What are you doing, Negro? What you got going on? So I gave you my list. Now you give me yours. See, a hater will not compete with you on who can make the most progress. A hater will only compete with you on who can create the most chaos. So we got agents of chaos in our community who don't want to see Black people move forward. That's a reality. Now, with that said, I want to say thank you. I see you in here, Ingrid Tater. Thank you so much for your donation and your support. And I love you so much. And I really appreciate you. And your money will be put to good use. And that's it. All right, guys. So somebody said they can't hear me. Veronica said she can't hear me. Can you hear me? Give me a yes or no if you can hear me. Yes or no? Yes or no? All right, let me know if you can hear me. All right. Okay, Janet says she can hear me. Most people are saying they can hear me. So it looks like she's in the minority. And so anyway, do me a favor before we head out, please hit the thumbs up button, share and subscribe button, and the notification bell. Hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live. Also, and actually on the Black Financial Channel, I am going to talk about a little bit more in detail about this war potential in Iraq and how this is going to affect the stock market. Also, I have some upcoming seminars and lectures coming up. I'm going to be in Oakland on the 24th, I believe, something like that. I'm going to be in New Orleans coming up, but New Orleans, I'm going to try to set up a live stream because New Orleans is sold out. So there's no more seats in New Orleans. But I'll try to set up a live stream for that. And then I'm going to go to the AG Gaston conference. I think that's in February. That's the one where Angela Rye raised hell because me and her were supposed to be speaking together. She didn't like that, poor baby. But they did invite me back. I don't know if they invited her back. I don't know what's up with that, but I know they invited me back this year. I'll be there this year. I think George C. Frazier will be there. That's in Birmingham, Alabama. We're also going to have an event at the Essence Fest, or not at the Essence Fest, but right next to the Essence Fest, right? So right there, we're getting a big space right near where the Essence Fest is. So if you're coming to the Essence Fest, we'll be doing a wealth event there. Last but not least, I want to thank Illuminate Life Cosmetics for sponsoring this podcast. That's illuminatelifecosmetics.com. They do organic makeup and things like that, organic cosmetics. Thank you, Ronnie, for your support, brother. I really appreciate you 1,000%. And last but not least, if you want to check out the trailer for our film, our new film, we hope you guys will support the emerging Black Hollywood. We partner extensively with Quayle TV. Quayle TV just let us know. I met the young sister who runs Quayle TV. Anybody heard of Quayle TV? Quayle TV is the Black Netflix. Better than Netflix because it's 100% Black. And y'all know the melanin adds an extra surge in quality to everything that it touches. So Quayle TV, KWELI. I met the young sister who started Quayle, an impressive young lady, beautiful, young, intelligent Black woman. And she could really use your support. So feel free to download the Quayle TV app. And I'm gonna tell you like this, I was real excited to find out that one of our films from Boyce Watkins Films called Resurrecting Black Wall Street, we did not want to put it on in Netflix and Amazon and all that. We wanted to put this one, we kept this one, we didn't put it anywhere. And Quayle reached out, we put it on Quayle, and it was the #4 most viewed film on all of Quayle TV. 135,000 Black people watched that movie in the last quarter alone. And so it's right up there with Hidden Colors. I think Hidden Colors, I mean, Tariq is killing it, right? He's like the Star Wars of Black people, and I love him for it, and I respect him immensely. And I'm going to speak at his FBA conference in the summer. But we're right there. Resurrecting Black Wall Street, directed by Dorian Chandler, was right up there with Hidden Colors. It was #4. And also, we have another film, The Black Love Blueprint. And so if you want to check out the trailer or get a free trial in the Love and Money program that we have in the Black Business School, where you can learn things like the 7 golden rules of love and money, how to know if your partner has a financial STD, and watch the film for free, go to theblackloveblueprint.com. That's theblackloveblueprint.com. Thank you, Rapindo, for your donation. I appreciate that very, very much. And I'm gonna get on out of here, guys. So you guys have a great day, and I love you, and thank you for putting up with my ignorant ass. I know sometimes I get a little ghetto with it, but we having fun here. We ain't got to be serious all the time. But make no mistake about it, Black people are taking over in the 20th century. We dominated the last decade. Let me just tell y'all this right quick. We killed it in the last decade. Black wealth, Black economic power. In the beginning of the decade, it was not a big deal. A lot of people weren't talking about it. But since that time, because of you, because of your support, we have been able to make impacts all over the globe. We have been able to make transformative change in the community worldwide. And this decade's only going to be bigger because now we're going to go from $1 million level budgets and status to $100 million, right? Like by the end of the decade, we're going to be at the level of what a Tyler Perry is, except the difference will be that we're going to be pushing Black economic intelligence, not Medea dresses. I love Tyler Perry. He's a very nice guy. But come on, man, that dress, we got to take that dress off, man. That ain't good for the Black man's image in the world. We know this. All right, so anyway, I'm out of here, guys, but no diss on Tyler Perry, though. I love this guy. I think he's a very nice person. All right, I'm out of here. Love you, Vicky Dillard. Vicky Dillard is on flynubianqueentv.com Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you check that out. She's an amazing Black woman. And also Dual Victory. Thank you very much for always showing up as a moderator. And everybody else, I love you guys. Please have a good day, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Peace.